Hi and welcome to today's video. Today I want to look at how we can make our supermarket herbs that we've bought that are living, actually live. So a lot of the time we buy the living herbs and they have got, as this one does, the best before date on. Now I don't normally buy plants with best before dates on. So what I wanted to just talk to you about quickly first was how you can make, even if you're not green fingered, how you can make your herbs live longer. So the first thing you need to be looking at is taking them out of that plastic. Okay, so this is some Greek basil that we bought 2 days ago, and allegedly it's already out of date today. Okay, so fine. What I want to show you is, can you see there that the roots are actually coming out of that pot? And what will happen is you'll put it on a saucer, you know, a little dish, on your windowsill, and you'll water it, because that's the first thing you want to do. You want to look after your plants, so you're going to water it straight away. And then what will happen is the roots are going to sit in that water. Now no plants, especially Mediterranean sort of aromatic herbs, like to have soggy roots. Soggy roots basically mean rotting, okay? But it's human nature. Now what I want us to do instead is to look at how already, when I came to touch this plant this morning, several sprigs were already, I mean they're too far gone to eat, but I'm wondering if they'll be too far gone to propagate. So there's actually another one there just like it, and what I can do is pinch that one out, and you can see it's got a kind of rotted tip. Now obviously this has happened in the supermarket before it's even come to us. These are all very good quality seeds, and that's the thing I want you to remember. So what you need to do is maybe angle the camera differently. Bear with me 1 second. Okay, so what I want to show you is we're going to try to give them a little bit of life. Okay, so I'm hoping you can see this. I'm going to cut off that rotten bit straight away, and then it's limp as anything, but I'm going to see if I can. I want to take it out of the direct heat because there is too much heat at the moment for tender little plants. It's only about 10 o'clock in the morning, but it's kind of got that real solid heat. Now I've taken off all but the top leaves, and what I'm going to do is slightly wound it by removing the skin. Okay, now that process of removing the skin and that bottom bit there opens it up, so it's got the possibility of becoming a full grown sort of shoot. Okay, now bear with me 1 second. I've got some pre-made up compost. I'll just add a little bit more. And this is a mixture of peat-free compost I bought and quite well composted manure from the garden. So it's mainly chickens and the chicken bedding. Maybe that takes about a year to create. So I'll talk to you about that in another video if you like. Now I am going to use organic rooting gel. I'll put a little link in it. I think it's important to use organic because we're going to be eating this and often straight from the garden, but also it's a very good quality product. So what I do is dip that in. I'll tell you what I'm going to do first. I'm just going to add some moisture to the compost first. So I give it a thorough soaking. It's got holes in the pots, and I've put sort of extra stones in as well. Always put the extra stones in for that extra drainage, but you can see it's draining through quite nicely. Okay, then I use a little stick, make a hole, and then I pop that down into the hole. Okay, and this one, it might be too far gone, but at the end of the day it was already kind of dead when we got it. Okay, so I'm going to do the same to these ones, but you can see it's not just being out in the sun that's done this damage. These were sort of like it when we got them. Now this one's been perfect, because when I took those leaves off it kind of took a strip of the skin off, so I might not even worry about using the knife on this one. And it's a little bit of a stronger stem. Okay, and we poke that one in. It's got the space to go as low down as we need it to, and then we just comfortably get it there. This one, I don't think I'm going to add to the soil. I think I'll add this one just to some water and I'll show you in a few weeks time what that looks like. I'll just put those on the floor for the chickens. They can't be bothered, but I'll put them on the floor for the chickens in case they ever do notice, and just remove those ones as well. And I've got a windowsill where I'm going to put this, and it's going to grow lots of lovely roots from that stalk. I'll just take it out of the sun for now. Bear with 1 second. But in about 2-3 weeks time, once it's got those roots, then I can pot it on, maybe even a little bit longer, but then I can pot it on. But it doesn't need any rooting hormone if it goes into the water. So what I wanted to show you quickly first, before we start repotting, is a couple of other projects. So this is one mint plant. Now you can see I've taken the tops off of a couple of them. That's because I've propagated on from them as well. But that one mint plant has cost £1.25 from the supermarket, and I can keep pinching out and creating more and more shoots, and it is going to be delicious, but also grow on forever. Okay, so you don't really need to be too snobby unless you want to go for something like a spearmint that you can't get in the supermarket very easily, or lovely chocolate mint that you can grow. So those ones you would probably go to a nursery for, and that's fantastic as well. So what you need to do, you've got this. Now can you see how many plants are actually inside that? That's far too many plants in one tiny little pot, and when you touch the pot you can feel it's actually not exactly jam-packed, but it looks lovely and verdant and kind of smells delicious. So it smells ready to eat. But what I want to show you, the way I do this, I've got my little bucket of water here, and I will literally hold it down and you can feel it kind of bubbling up. I want those roots nice and tender. So what I want is supple roots that aren't going to be upset when I separate them. So I'm going to give that a little go now. You see all that water just runs straight out. So it's got no ability to kind of retain the water, but the water it does retain is going to do nothing but kind of flood it and drown it. So what I want to show you, you hold on to this and then you squeeze the pot, you support the plant, and it just comes out so easily. Okay, so we've got a couple more pots. To be honest with you, this should quite naturally break. So you can see that there. I've just teased it apart and it doesn't really offer much resistance. So what I can do is separate them into, let's have a go at this one, possibly 3 or 4 plants at a time, and they separate quite nicely. And then what I'm going to do is put my compost here, and again I've got a good mixture of compost here, I haven't gone crazy. I'm just going to introduce this into the new pot. I've gone for a deep pot here because I want the roots to grow deep, but can you see I'm just going to hold it there so that I can see that it's level with the top. Okay. And then cover it with dirt, and then you put it all around the sides and get compost everywhere as you're doing it. So it's a nice little project for outside. Okay, and then push it down on the sides, just use your fingers. And you can see now that this has got more places to go. So it's going to continue to do well, and it's got enough nutritional content in there to kind of live on for as long as possible. Okay, so that is going to grow to fill that pot quite nicely. Okay, as long as we keep pinching it out as we go. And when we come to water it now, there's no chance of it sitting in the water. The roots are going to be lifted off because I've got stones in the bottom and I've got good irrigation in my soil. So that should mean that particular plant we can grow from for time immemorial, and we can keep happy with that. So that is how we spend just over £1 and we end up with 4 or 5 pots of Greek basil. Now for £1.25 you'd be hard pressed to get a packet of seeds for that. So we're talking maybe between £2 and £3 for a packet of seeds. Obviously with seeds you get many more plants, but with our propagation as well we should be able to get as many plants as we need basically for the whole year. So for £1.25 we can kind of keep growing forevermore. Sorry, I've just got a chicken about to attack me. But yeah, so I think that should be something that you can all think about, and you don't need to be too snobby about it, as I say. Oh, one thing I did want to show you was I've done this with the parsley, and what I did with that, when I planted that out, I did exactly the same thing, teased them all apart. This isn't even one pot's worth, so there's about 2/3 of a pot, so I've got some more growing out in the garden, actually in the ground. But what I did then was I gave it a haircut. Okay, so with parsley it's important that you cut it back so that the new growth can come through, and about 2 weeks ago, so a lot of new growth now. Thanks to the chicken, that's what helped me notice that someone was about to eat my parsley, so I've just quickly lifted it up the way of the chicken. But yeah, so you can see that for £1.25 you can get a year's worth of herbs. I also wanted to show you my thyme. Now this has been a pretty instant win, so as you can see, thyme has got that lovely sort of cascading, spilling over, and just gorgeous smells, really lovely smell, and that smells when you walk past it. So what we can do with this, I'm going to plant out other I think I put chamomile in because they've got a similar sort of desire for water and drought sort of tolerance levels, so I might plant some chamomile in there that I've been growing. And then I've got a lovely feature to put around where we're going to have like barbecues and things like that. That then means that we've got something that would sort of deter certain pests, but also it's a nice sort of eye-catching, and you can just pick off a few sprigs and sling them in with the barbecue or whatever. So yeah, I'm hoping you can see that sort of £1, £2 from the supermarket, and you can get an entire herb garden almost instantaneously. I've got on the website, Homegrown Herb Garden website, like an entire list of every herb you could want to separate and how to do it. You know, how to look after your basils, your parsleys, your thymes, oregano, rosemary, you get the idea. So just Google how to keep supermarket herbs alive and have a look for our site. If you like this video, please do let us know. Comment, put a thumbs up, subscribe would be fantastic because we're a new channel. But basically, just really want to know how you get on and whether you give it a go. My only advice is, if you are going to plant herbs in different pots altogether, make sure you put the same sort of herbs that like the same sort of water, same sort of amount of daylight, because thyme really is drought tolerant, and I wouldn't necessarily put it in with the basil. Okay, so basil I put in more with parsley or chives, whereas thyme would go in with oregano. Thyme would work well with rosemary. In fact, rosemary might take over, but you get the idea. Okay, so but yeah, thanks so much for watching, and let us know how you get on, because it's really easy to become a herb grower. Okay, thank you, bye.